So it's been revealed and announced, technically, that at Games, if I got the name right, at Games.net and other sources like IGN and other websites out there, that there's a brand new, Sega Genesis Flashback system coming out. This system is due in stores September. Now, most people know that at Games have made this type of system before, but a little bit smaller, where it just fits in the old Sega Genesis cartridge and maybe a few games and one controller. And most of those accounts saying that was just utter garbage. But with this, it seems like they're trying to make a better product. Now, the actual game list for this Sega Genesis Flashback seems quite a bit similar to their other models, but it's like maybe 4 or 5 more. Some of the major ones are like Sonic the Hedgehog, Shining Force, Phantasy Star, Mortal Kombat, Virtual Fighter, and some of the main ones are still there. I mean, it seems like there's this Alex Kidd, Comic Zone, Dr. Robotnik, Eternal Champions, Golden Axe, all 3 Golden Axe games. Yes, all 3 Mortal Kombat, it seems, especially if their main selling tag is true up here, along with maybe all the Sonics. Yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic and Knuckles. Let's see. Phantasy Star, we got Phantasy Star 3, Generation Doom, Phantasy Star 2, so there's all those. Shining Force, we might only have Shining Force 2, the Ancient Seal. And, Vector Man, the Ooze, Vector Man 2. Huh. But yeah, the actual listed output is 720p HD output. So unlike the previous versions, which were just a standard AV hookup, this one does actually support HD, which is a big old plus for this one. And the model itself is looking like the very first original style Sega Genesis, which is a big old plus for retro gamers who maybe missed that style on their system, especially those who had to try and get some of the older models that were made. But one of the bonuses is, no doubt, the HDMI along with an extra controller. And this does have its own rewind feature, which is something that, well, we didn't exactly have in like the Retron 5, but the feature is in a few games that we know that are out now, like that Disney Afternoon Collection that's available on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Now, the cartridge port supports almost all of the original Sega Genesis and Mega Drive cartridges. That is something that is sadly missing from the NES Classic Edition, along with wireless controllers. And, let's see, I think it does also feature a save function, aside from maybe saving on the cartridge itself. Let's see if I can get a close-up of... because the box itself has some details on the side here. Okay. Genesis Flashback game console, built-in games, 2 wireless controllers, AC power adapter, HDMI cable. Well, that's good. They include an HDMI cable. And the 2 wireless controllers do require 2 AAA batteries, not included. They assume everyone has it. Okay, down here, yeah, cartridge slot to put in any old Sega Genesis games that you already have, considering this thing doesn't have built-in every Sega Genesis game. Has save, resume, and rewind on games. So, yeah, And then 2.4G wireless controllers. Hopefully these controllers aren't as janked as some other retro systems wireless controllers were. I.e., I think it was the Retron 3 or 2. But like I said before, towards the beginning, I heard that Ad Games did some horrible jank versions of these in the past. Hopefully they've been able to improve on their products and make their controllers sturdier. And another thing I read was that there is ports on the system to plug in Genesis controllers, normal Genesis controllers. So if you got some of the old ones lying around that are, wired, there's some ports for you on that. So it says in stores September 2017. However, I did manage to try and send out a Twitter to the company that's making this, and did get an actual response back about possibly the price and when the reserves pre-orders can start. And they replied back, MSRP to be $79.99 and pre-orders will start in July. Now, as the announcement stated, it doesn't have a certain date in September, and the tweet back didn't say a certain date in July. So we'll just have to keep an eye on websites, stuff like that. But the price is $79.99. Hopefully the controllers are more sturdier. I mean, the price could have been a lot worse. I was kind of expecting it to be around the same price as the NES Classic Edition, but I suppose this isn't as bad as it could be, so. But yeah, this is just me posting a quick action video game talk video about this Sega Genesis Flashback that was just announced. And sorry if it was rushed and all, but I got a long day ahead of me tomorrow, so I'm going to try and get this out as soon as possible. So yeah, kind of in closing, I guess this is something I probably would try to pick up eventually. I mean, one tweet I sent back was, hopefully these things will be around after the launch and not be impossible to find. Hopefully. But considering how long the previous versions of this was around, yeah, I would try and get it. I would try to get it at some point, if able to.